Hello, everyone. This is The Lock, and this is the Skeptic Wars podcast, where I talk about some of my favorite stories from the past week on the Skeptic Wars blog. And first story up for this podcast is Florida mom kidnaps daughter to avoid vaccines, learning Black history. And this is about a woman by the name of Megan Elizabeth Arrett. She's 22 years old, and she kidnapped her 2-year-old daughter after the little girl's father, who she shares custody with. And by the way, her daughter's name is Lily. Dropped her off at her home, and when Everett was supposed to return Lily to her father's house, she did not. She didn't, and well, as it turns out, she left. I'm supposing her maybe her ex-boyfriend. I mean, they don't share last name or anything, so I'm assuming it's the guy's her ex-boyfriend. She left a note saying that she would not be returning her to him because she doesn't want her child vaccinated, and she doesn't want her child to be, quote, brainwashed. As it turns out, she just doesn't want her learning about Black history, and she doesn't want her learning about. I mean, she doesn't want her vaccinated, and I have no idea why. Probably because she thinks that vaccines are bad. But yeah, she's been on the run for about a month now, I believe, and the FBI is still looking for her. So if you've seen her, contact the FBI or contact the local police and have this woman arrested, and get her daughter away from her, because she's obviously not a good person. She's a racist, and she's a person who's putting her daughter's risk. I mean, putting her daughter's health at risk. All right. Next one. 10 horrible things conspiracy theorists have done. This is from Listverse, and this is a list of 10 pretty horrible things that conspiracy theorists has done. And as it turns out, conspiracy theorists they've been doing some horrible things, not just for the last decade, ever since the internet became very popular, and we all know about the harassment and stalking that the parents of children that died in Sandy Hook Elementary School have gone through. And that's of course on this list, but it also lists some actually pretty old things that conspiracy theorists have done. The first one on the list is Jim Garrison's conducted a witch hunt against Clay Shaw over JFK, and Jim Garrison was a prosecutor for the city of New Orleans, and basically he tried to throw him in jail. He tried to throw an innocent person into jail because he thought that person had something to do with JFK's assassination. And there's a lot of other things here too, such as the former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, enacting AIDS denialism policy. Apparently, because everybody knows, he didn't believe that AIDS existed, that HIV existed. He thought it was a conspiracy, and because of this, it ended up with the deaths, resulting in deaths of around 330,000 people. And there's a lot of other, horrible things listed on here that conspiracy theorists have done, but you just have to check it out and read it for yourself. Alright. Deepak Chopra, I think that's how it's pronounced. I've never really cared to try to pronounce his real name. Issues a hilarious challenge to James Randi over consciousness. And everybody knows about James Randi's $1 Million Paranormal Challenge, about him challenging people who claim to have psychic powers to come in, test, and prove that they actually have psychic powers. Well, Deepak here issued a $1 Million challenge to Skeptic, specifically James, over consciousness. I don't know, something about the nature of consciousness, I believe. I don't know, it's pretty weird to try to figure out, but I mean, there's just so much on consciousness. This is a thing that could probably be easy to win, but also might not be able to be won at all, considering that he's probably the only person who has who's judging this and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it's just hilarious what he did. I mean, but I don't think anyone's going to really take this seriously. Alright, Senator McCaskill slams Dr. Oz for hawking miracle weight loss products. Alright, this is about Dr. Oz and his testimony to the Senate committee, over weight loss products and scam weight loss products. And one of the senators there, Senator Claire McCaskill, basically grilled him on it, about the weight loss products that he peddles on his show. And I believe Dr. Oz did admit that his weight loss products do not stand up to scientific scientific merit or something like that. And so basically, as it says in the first paragraph of this article, Dr. Oz, because this morning they spent an entire congressional hearing telling Dr. Oz how much he sucks. I mean, for once, the Senate, or the Congress, or whatever you want to call them, finally did something right and grilled him over his BS. Alright. Next one. Child of practicing Catholic denied religious exemption for school vaccinations. And this is from StatenIslandLive.com. And a federal judge dismissed the lawsuit from a practicing Roman Catholic from West Brighton who opposed on religious grounds. And granted, the Roman Catholics do not oppose vaccination. They don't oppose any type of medical intervention except for abortion and contraception and probably even condoms, unless of course deemed medically necessary. I mean, with the contraception and the contraceptives and the abortion stuff, I think. I don't know. I'm not a Roman Catholic, so I wouldn't exactly know. But basically, they said that, look, what this woman wanted to do was get her daughter into, I believe, first grade, and the school wasn't allowing her daughter to enter school because she hadn't had the MMR vaccine. And this is common. Most kids by this time would have had the MMR vaccine, but she hadn't because her mother had feared health problems, and she had gone on to the woo train, as I like to call it, and basically went from being believing in believing in science-based medicine, because she has other children who have also been vaccinated from, and she's gone on woo train, and now she only believes in what's called like what I like to call fake medicine, pretend medicine, quackery, although better known as holistic medicine and alternative medicine. And she did not want her youngest daughter here to be vaccinated before she entered school, and district judge finally told her, no, you have no, that your religious objections are, that you cannot be granted an exception. And there are actually no constitutional exemptions, I believe, at least in New York, over religious exemptions. I could be wrong about that, but basically she has to have her daughter vaccinated, which is good for the daughter and everyone else at that school, especially for anyone who cannot be vaccinated due to legitimate medical reasons, and just kids who were vaccinated but somehow for some reason the vaccination didn't take hold. Alright. Fake doctor receives 20-month sentence, and this is from KGTV ABC 10 in San Diego, and this is about Kathleen Helms. She was treating her so-called patients for with non-traditional healthcare treatments, i.e., fake medicine and quackery for Lyme disease. And first of all, there's a question whether or not Lyme disease exists. I think it does exist, and but it can be hard for people to get treatment for Lyme disease because it's not agreed upon whether or not it does exist or not. But she was treating people with Lyme disease, and she was doing well, she doesn't have a medical license, and it's illegal, at least in California, to treat Lyme disease, to practice medicine without a medical license. So she was arrested. She was arrested in 2012. At least her first arrest was in 2012. And well, she's been convicted. She's going to be in jail for at least 20 months. Well, she might be in there more, she might be in there less, who knows. She's claiming that her arrest is part of an FBI conspiracy. Why? I don't know. Why the FBI would give a damn about some alternative medicine practitioner who's treating something that's, well, technically not really life-threatening, but, well, it can be life-threatening, but more of an irritation than anything. She could just be saying that because she wants people to feel sorry for her, or she wants people to, or she's just making an excuse. She's just using the FBI as a scapegoat. She's just claiming there's conspiracy, and a lot of people who claim that there's a conspiracy against them by the government, they're just doing it as a, kind of a scapegoat, kind of a means to redirect blame from themselves. Alright, and finally, peace at last, mystery noise on housing estate is identified, and this is by the Bucks Herald, and this is in the United Kingdom, specifically, this is in Ashlebury, in the estate of Stoke Grange. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know, but anyways, for the past couple of years, the housing estate there has been plagued by mystery screeching sound, and it's been found out what it was. It's a faulty burglar alarm at an auto center nearby, and for some reason this burglar alarm would go off every once in a while for no reason. But they have found out what it was, and now they're getting the problem solved, or they've probably already solved the problem. But mystery solved. I mean, just a little bit of an investigation can solve, you know, many of the world's problems. You just gotta think skeptically and critically about certain things, and you gotta look. In order to find a solution to things, you gotta find out what's causing the problem. Alright, so that's it for this week. For this week's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week for the next podcast of Skeptic Wars. This is the Lock saying, see ya.